wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. This is Dr. Zainab. I was asked a couple of questions on Literacy 1 of December 2021. So let's get going. Bismillah. Number 5. Okay, number 5, you'll notice that it's the same words, but the differences are in the punctuation marks. Okay, like when you have a list, you want to put a comma between your items in the list, and then you're going to put the word and then you're going to put your last item in the list. But what if your items in the list already have commas? So what do you put between your items in the list? You put semicolons. So then you're going to have a semicolon and you're going to put semicolons between your items in the list. Sometimes you don't even have to have semicolon and you'll just have semicolons between your items in the list. And so that's why for number 5, your answer here is going to be A, because you have here your first item in the list. Okay, let me show you. Your first item in the list is rough, rugged, and gray-eyed. That's your first item in the list. Your second item in the list is with frames close, net, and usually squat. Your third item in the list is generous with money and unconcerned as to the future. And your last item in the list is living each day regardless of the next and living it. So between your items in the list, you're going to put a semicolon because your items in the list already have commas. And so that's why A is going to be your answer for number 5. If you look over here, you're going to notice that they put a comma between your first and second item in the list. That's not going to work. Your item in the list already has commas. So between your items in the list, you're going to put semicolons. C, same thing. Here you have, you need a comma before and over here. Okay. And you need commas between your items with that are in the first item in the list. So C is wrong. And D, you have commas between, semicolons between your first two items. Then you're going to have a comma between your other items, and that's not going to work. So that's why your answer here is going to be A and not all the other items. Tamam? Okay, your next question is number 18. Bismillah. All right, number 18. It says the author is considering deleting the underlined phrase. Should the sentence be kept or deleted? So you're going to read the sentence and you're going to figure out the sentence before and ask yourself, is this sentence relevant or not? In 1873, the federal government forced the Kaw south to Indian Territory, which would later become Oklahoma. The adolescent, he was forced, the Kaw Indians, they were forced to go south, okay? The adolescent Curtis wanted to move with his community. He wanted to be with his community. Now, this sentence says, according to his Senate biography, his Kaw grandmother talked him into staying with his parental grandparents and continuing his education. Okay, so his grandmother is the one that persuaded him to stay and to continue his education. So this sentence right here, it's important because then I will understand what he did. He stayed with, he stayed and he didn't move on with his community. So I'm going to keep it because it provides support for the previous claim. He didn't move with his community. He actually stayed. Okay. So that's why your answer here is A. Make sure you read the sentence before and the sentence after to figure out if you're going to put this sentence or you're not going to put this sentence. Tamam? All right. Now, the next question is number 20. Number 20, it says, which choice, bismillah, it says, which choice best connects this paragraph to the main idea in the previous paragraph? So I have to figure out what is the main idea in the previous paragraph. The one thing that might have lightened the persecution of Curtis was that he was half white, Burke said. His light complexed, but he's not dark skinned like a lot of Kansa. His personality wins people over. He was a popular kid. That's the main idea here, that he was a popular kid. He wasn't discriminated against, just like all the other Indians. And so here for number 20, your answer is going to be D, his popularity, I'm referring to the sentence before it, among the white majority continued to increase during Curtis's time in Congress as he consistently pushed for policies that many Native Americans today say were a disaster for their nations. Okay, so and this sentence over here, it talks about how he favored a certain act that was not in the favor of his tribal people. Okay, like this one, the focus is on racist, and my paragraph is not about racist, it's about Curtis, so that's not my answer. This one is talking about skin color, and I don't want to talk about skin color, I want to talk about how he was popular. And A says, throughout his time in Congress, Curtis also consistently pushed for policies that many Native Americans, it's not really talking about how he was popular. And so that's why your answer here is D, because it connects what comes before to what comes after. All right, your next question is number 28. Number 28, it says, which of the following phrases best fits the author's conclusion of possible reduced movement? So I want to prove that there was what reduced movement. So here it says that the hydras, they were in a sleep-like state characterized by reduced movement. How can you prove that they were in a reduced movement? They were in a sleep-like state, because when you disrupted them with a flashlight, they started to move. And so this is how we can prove that they were in a sleep-like or reduced movement. So that's why your answer here is A. If you look at B, it says, which can only be suspended by light. This is extreme, and it didn't say that it can only be suspended by light, having no effect on their sleep patterns. No, this is talking about how they're sleeping and so on, which is still relatively unknown. Actually, we do know something about it. So that's why our answer here is A. All right, and number 42, that's the last question. It says the author is considering deleting the underlying quote. Should the quote be kept or deleted? So if I look at the quote, all right, no, that's number 41. You're asking about number 42. Number 42, it says, which option, if inserted here, best supports the previous statement on the validated use of EDI? When you want to support something, you want to use as many details as possible. So the details here would be in the numbers of how many people and how many states and how many communities actually benefited from the EDI. And so that's why your answer here is going to be A. All the other ones are more general. So this one says the piloting of EDI was a groundbreaking phenomenon that allowed so many new tools to emerge. It's not giving me a lot of details. Many schools and districts all over America were supported through the use. I'm not giving specific details about how many and where. Even though EDI tool has helped in assessing health, development, and well-being, there's so much more to learn. This is negative. I want to show something that is positive, and I want to give details, and so that's why your answer here is A. Thank you and good luck.